Previously on Torment, Tides of Numenera.
No! I can't say I expected you back so soon. Something feels odd about this man, but it takes a while to put your finger on it. It's his thoughts. They aren't there, or they're there, but they're indistinct, like a kind of white noise that blends in too well with the background. Why am I here again? You died. I mean, not dead, but you came awful close. You should learn to be more careful out there, for both of us. Are you always here? He shrugs. Where else would I be? Not in the residence chamber, but we broke it. Yeah, I saw that. I don't see everything you do out there in the world, but I definitely saw that. Gotta fix it. Thoughts are fuzzy. Why can't I read them? His voice is dry. Imagine it because we're in a place of pure thought. I'm a construct of pure thought, and our conversation here is placed on a level of thoughts. Most things here aren't real. It'd be like reading your own mind. Okay. What should I do now? With the chamber broken, I'm not sure. We need to find someone who can fix it. It's our only hope. Why can't I remember this place without my own mind? Told you as much as I know. It's the mind that means you're in control. It's your mind which means you're in control. You just need to figure out how to lock its secrets. I don't know how, but the whole resonance chamber will do that for us. So unite us, make us whole again. Is there anything to do while I'm here? You mean by apart from the cabaret acts, the distilleries, and endless adventure, just find the next wrinkle in your mind? Ah! If you believe that. Sorry, it's your mind. Nothing like that here, I've looked. Still, you've changed plenty already. I wouldn't be surprised if something showed up here eventually. Anything changed since the last time I was here? He shrugs, looks around, it's your mind. How do I get back? Portal's still there, I don't see why I wouldn't work twice. Alright, very well. Good luck! Have fun storming the castle! There seems to be not much here. Dark shattered mirror leads back to the dark. Alright. Enemy's armor changed up the damage type to compensate. MB2 death. The stink of it. Dried blood and rotting flesh fills your nostrils. This is your first clue that you are somehow still alive. The second is the glow of candlelight, warmth on your eyelids, the ice is stone beneath your back. Slippers scuff the ground you knew. Gather around, children. Gather for the feast. Open your eyes. Despite the glare of the dim candles, which seem at least momentarily as bright as sunlight, you see the robed figures recoil, shout, and step back. Only the old man remains where he was, clasping his hands together with unfiltered delight. At first glance, it would seem easy to presume the old man is dying of some wasting disease or starvation. He is little more than a too-tall skeleton, wrapped in translucent flesh and a tattered robe. His hands are essentially bony claws, and yet he beams at you, his sunken eyes glittering with suppressed laughter and feverish life. He smiles at you, sharpened teeth are muddy brown. Why, I know you, he says. So many eyes here have lingered on that too, that noble brow. Let him touch your forehead. Yes, now I remember. Blue tide raised him out, red tide raised him out. Old Chryssia once saw you out of the corner of her eye, a week before his accident. Olori Mar sold you a small bag of, he breathes, closing his sugar-dusted almonds, but those aren't the only two. No, you drift through countless lives, altering an end in them, never leaving a name, never dying. He stands, draws his breath. Oh, I can't stand these mysteries. Love them, but can't stand them. So I must ask you for a simply unthinkable favor. You may have suspected that we were going to eat you, he says, but this is somewhat true, but only so the wonders of your life would not be lost. And now that we know you cannot die, well, would you do us the honor of letting us eat you? Just a little bit. If you do, we will share some of our deepest mysteries and yours with you. We'll pay you, of course. Who are you people, anyway? Oh, yes, I suppose it should seem strange that a group of strangers is asking to eat your flesh. We are the Dindra. He smiles. Now we ask this question. All right. Why does being one make eating me all right? That's a good question. But I'm afraid we are quite hungry, so if you not give us permission, we must carry on to the next corpse. Unless they are mortal also. What if we've already consumed mortals by accident? Ha! Alright, sharing knowledge. Go ahead, eat me. Blue Tide raised a moderate amount. He grumbles beneath his breath, but does not intervene. Follows the of your union, cutting such your flesh, hoses dangle from your wrist, leading to their suits. They snake seemingly out of their own accord into your incisions. For a moment, nothing happens, then you hear fate whirring and spinning. Someone is screaming. You have a fairly good idea who. Eventually, mercifully, you die. I permanently lose 2 health. Maximum health pool is now 18. After an indefinite amount of time, you open your eyes. You steps back reading a book. Aha! Welcome back. What an exquisite experience that was, though certainly you don't need to hear about it while you're waking up. At any rate, I took the liberty of adding a token of our gratitude to your belongings. Do come speak to me whenever you're ready to discuss what we learned from our little feast. Again, 50 bucks, 4 XP, and a Viscera Sprig. Now, if you happen to have another semi-fatal accident, rest assured that we'll be nearby. We will bear you back to our chapel as tenderly as a bag of baby birds. And you have my word, we won't take so much as a nibble without your permission. Now, if you're done being dinner, can we please go? Algern.
Good. You're awake. Wasn't sure if you'd get up or not, but since you survived the fall, I thought there might be a chance. I kept these Dendra from feasting on your corpse till I knew for sure.
That looks like I didn't really need to do that. But anyway, Calistiga didn't stick with us just as well. You have no idea what it's like traveling with her, though I suppose you had a taste of it from even that short trial. He scuffs his toe into the ground, looks away. I'm going to say this once. I'm not much of a talker, but you know, of course, it's about your identity. That you're willing to bring me on says something about you, and what that is, I'm not sure yet. Still, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'll help clear. I'll help where I can. Clear? Certainly. I definitely want you to question me constantly, because we never know. So that's settled. We got things to do, right? What's your story now? Not exactly my favorite topic. Asked. Let's see here. I'm not from around here. Local Aeon priest for a small day. Ormental was called. Far west of here. Things happen. I left. Here I am. Nowhere to go back to. Said things happen. That made you leave your village. What things? I'm not really talking about it yet. So you said you were an Aeon priest. What's the story? Worked with them for years, but when I came to them for help, they refused me. Gave me no time, no resources, no aid. They said I had to give up my research. It said I was obsessed, they said. Heartless bastard. How can I not be? Order of truth and I don't get on. They think I'm carked, and I think they're frauds. We exchange these little pleasantries every time we meet. I got one friend left there, and I came in contact him most of the time. Why do you think they're carked? Because I speak my mind to them, okay? Who's your friend? Orth Fong. He does a little research for me from time to time. Personal work. Can you tell me about your tattoos? These, they're nothing. Call them a consolation. We've already heard that. How are you traveling with Calistiga? When the Order of Truth failed me, I sought help. Calistiga was known for finding things, so despite her reputation for being unreliable, I approached her, and she accepted, provided I help her find a way to achieve her transcendence. She seemed so kind at first, but when it became clear neither of us could help the other, she became cruel and spiteful. I don't know why I stayed after that, or why she stayed with me. Hammered, I suppose. Did you have a relationship? You know, if you can call clawing and scratching each other a relationship, then I would suppose. It was pleasant at the beginning. I needed solace and she needed validation, perhaps, but when I failed her, she grew bitter and cutting, and I never heard the end of it. She used her words like a whip, and she cut me to the bone. Had some other questions. How you holding up? What about Sage's Cliffs? Haven't got much to say about the place. I moved here because I needed to, but it's a sewer. I hate it. How's that for thought? Been my home since I came here, and I can't seem to escape it. Well, why don't you leave, then? Why don't you mind your own business? Okay, that's fine. Let's continue.
Yes.
Alright. And B2. Ah! A restless corpse. And B2 beams at you, grasping his skeletal hands together like a tangle of twigs. Such a curiosity you are. What'd you learn from eating my flesh? Quite a bit. Too much, in fact. Your mortal flesh provides slightly too rich for some of my children. I have quite a bit more experience and fortitude than them, however. For me, it's nearly overwhelming rather than explosive. I shall endeavor to tell you what I've learned, but I fear it may not be clear as you would hope. It always takes a while to digest. He stifles a giggle. The information contained in just one life. Oh, digest, right. But it contains countless wonders. This will be decades on absorbing them all. In other words, my interpretation may sound somewhat unfinished, unclear, mystical. But I'll happily share these visions with you. Merely ask. Please share a vision with me. Of course. He closes his eyes, teetering gently, and draws a long, smooth breath. He hates the bed. This prison that holds her, he growls, the voice gathers on. He swears words in a tearful haste and wears them like jewels in a crown for centuries, even long after they lost their luster and purpose. Didn't hear a word of it, but it felt fascinating. Hopefully it was helpful. And come back if you want to hear more. Farewell. Hey, Mallet! Merely Man sneers at you, flexing massive, scarred hands that could merely encircle your throat. Sharpened teeth. What are you doing? What are you doing back here, Shul Meat? Gonna share some more of that tender flesh? Why'd you join the DanielAKA? Used to work for Folsom. Muscle work, you know. Money was good, but Folsom kept giving me little jobs, giving the best up to his proteges. Then I saw DanielAKA. Saw the way the people respected them, even if you could break most of them in half with two hands. Thought maybe there was room for a man to grow here. He grins. I was right. Bye-bye. Gize. Short, squat woman rakes absently at the swollen red tattoos decorating her pale, naked scalp. Her claws draw blood, but she doesn't seem to notice. Her head jerks at the sound of your footsteps. We welcome you back, Tenderling. Yes, we still savor your taste. Are you here to share more sweetness, more of your tender self, more silken flesh? What did you gain from eating me? Oh, Tenderling, such sweetness, flesh like fatty silk, supple muscle, secrets that crunch between the teeth. We could not keep you in. You're here again. You are whole. Such a miracle. Looking down, she chews her lip. We are working on making a way home, a new portal. If we do, we want to take you with us. Your soft, reglowing flesh can change our world. Gone can be the wars of feasting. Gone can be the cries of hungry tenderling, sucking on jagged bones for marrow. Are there others like you anywhere at all? There are many of us. We are happy to hear this. Do us a favor. Tell them we want them to come home with us. We offer an adventure, the softest bed, a way to change the world. Meanwhile, we can search for a way home. Maybe it's time. I got some questions. No, we are not the voice of DanielAKA, Tenderling. Speak with our leader in B2 instead. Savor his words and drink of his thoughts. Who are you? We are Gize of the... You might not know of the word. We come from another world, a heavier one. More rocks, less life. Ah, can't even talk properly today. What's the name of your people? Why do you keep saying we? Because we are we. Only newborn tenderlings are I, and that's only until their first meal of milk. Our world's not like yours. It's not so rich. There are no animals, no VeggieTales? None of those. Only flesh is our flesh. But we are blessed. When we eat bodies, nothing is lost except the corpse, the soul preserved. Dead ones become part of us. It becomes we. You're seeing the individual dies, but the soul is dispersed among all those who eat the body. You're correct. We give our respect in this way and we survive. Until we don't. And sometimes someone dies on their own and the soul is lost. Our people deserve better. That's why we're here. We heard rumors of the DanielAKA magic. It does not stop at the soul. It pulls memories from the dead flesh and soaks them into the mind. So we came through a portal in the bloom to learn this magic. We found our way to Sages. We asked to join. Now the portal is gone, we'll make another in time. How many bodies have you eaten? We do not share this. We prefer our feast to be private, but many. We find our feasts on our own. As soon as preserve them, remember them, give them eternal life. Farewell.
All right.
Let's go talk to this guy one more time. Ah, our restless corpse. Such a curiosity you are. Tell me about your cult. We worship the great queen Sarlavun, lady of Magus, goddess of entropy, and guardian of the empty barrier. Although worship is a strong word, perhaps. He pauses, tapping a muddy tooth thoughtfully. He points to the altar nearby. It displays a skull with the flat, unforgiving eyes buried in its sockets. She waits on the other side of death with her billions of squirming children. They devour everything that passes in the realm, and rightfully so. Everyone must eat. But whatever she and her children eat is lost forever, and so the Dendro work to preserve the minds and the mysteries of mortals before death claims them. We hold their shrill little thoughts in our minds, let them tumble around as they will. It feels marvelous. I got some questions. Lovely! This may surprise you, but we don't really get curious visitors. Most people seem quite nervous about us. What does your cult name mean anyway? Nobody knows. It's a mystery. Isn't that wonderful? What's the purpose of them again? Is to preserve knowledge. How long have they been around? Centuries, though how many I couldn't say. We aren't devoted to paper records, you might imagine. We prefer keeping them in our heads. Also, this is slightly embarrassing. None of us has managed to eat our founder. He simply disappeared one day. Can you imagine? I bet the founder is, the changing god. Who founded your cult? Man named Melmoth Levarium. He says in sighs, I do wish one of us had managed to eat him. I want to talk about something else. Talk to me about yourself. Oh, there isn't so much to tell. I've spent most of my years in this little chapel. The Dendro here have rather consumed my life. Ha! Consume my life. I'll have to remember that. Why'd you join them? Well, it's a good question. A very good question. I congratulate you on asking it. I'm afraid, however, that outsiders rarely understand what causes to the Dendro her. So, with apologies, I do not think I will answer it. I'd still like to know. And I'd love to tell you, but it is rather tangled in the mysteries of our order. I simply cannot indulge you. Again, my apologies. Ask some about your life again. Share another vision with me. He closes his eyes and begins to speak. He regrets the first one he leaves behind, the next less so. Soon they are falling like leaves to be crunched underfoot. By then he has begun telling himself it is not only necessary but good. Ah, that's when the god changes hosts. Yeah. That's all for now, I'm afraid. Can I have another one? Each year brings him closer to his goals. Each year brings her closer to him. Each of the long arms and the bruised blood. Her that loved the tides first and holds dominion over them. Her that hollows, burns, and kills. Her breath is on your neck. The long race is done. You have lost. Huh. Was any help? Certainly felt dire. Hope it wasn't bad news. I'm afraid that visions get rather more fragmented from here. Go ahead and give me another one. Doors. 3 doors. All of them belong to your greatest enemies. Alright. Gather the ones he scattered. Gather the seeds and the husks. You never see every level of the labyrinth, and that is good. That's it. Everything else is a muddle for now. Can you come back and say a year or so? Alright. Farewell. Farewell. Take care. Altars made of human bones with a carved skeletal head mounted above. Live maggots wriggle in its empty eye sockets. Corpse's wretched state with head and limbs crushed to pulp with bits of wood and debris embedded in the skin. Strong aroma of charred fresh rises from the dingy cloth over this corpse. You carefully move the shroud to the side. There's no around it. This dead man was a cast-off, and it would be hard for him to be deader. His flesh is papery, desiccated. His tattoo, or rather the charred remembrance of it, has burned through his skin to the bone beneath. And of course, there's the matter of his charred eye sockets, horrified, gasping mouth. Part of the corpse are missing, remnants of an aborted Dendra feast. You aren't surprised they stop. Alright, touch that tattoo. Last thing you remember before your fingertip grazed the tattoo is a rising buzz. Time shudders and breaks. Panting softly, you awaken, leaning against the bier for support. Your arms burn, temples throb, white static claws at the corner. Someone was screaming in that lightless, timeless void. You remember that much, but it wasn't you. None of the Dendra are looking away. Took 2 damage to health pool. Okay. Examine him again. Leave the corpse alone. Man in dirt, mismatched armor. Middle-aged woman lies upon the slab. Head has been stripped of flesh. Eyes placed neatly on the slab beside it. Tired old pushcart. Corpse of an elderly man. Teenage girl, most of her bones shattered. She fell from a great height.
On my way.